So we had a scratchy woofer, and in the first part of this video we managed to get it apart, get the cone and the spider and the voice coil out, clean up the voice coil, clean up the cone and the frame, and test it. So I'm just going to replace the cardboard that I took out of here. I had a look at some cardboard boxes, but they're all corrugated and this cardboard has got to be airtight. I thought maybe I could use one of these Amazon parcels, but this is only 0.6 millimeters thick and it needs to be 2 millimeters thick. So what I've done is bought this, which is, as you can see, this is flexoid. It's designed for making gaskets or joint washers. This is 2 millimeters thick and it's oil resistant. Not that it needs to be oil resistant, but I just thought, well, I might as well get this anyway. I'm just hoping the fact that it's oil resistant won't prevent it from being glued onto the loudspeaker. If I had a laser cutter I could make it cut this easily, but as I don't, I'm going to have to use an X-Acto knife to do this. Well, I've made a complete balls up of this, partly because the compass is not big enough. I couldn't get the pencil to work, so I had to use the pen attachment. It keeps coming out different from what I've measured. I think the correct dimension is actually halfway between these two. Well, I've decided to use my mother's old sewing scissors, which I've ceremonially sharpened for the purpose. Of course, they're made in Sheffield, in the days when we actually made things in this country. I've just realised that if I'd drawn this on the back, it would be considerably easier to follow. Well, all the circles that I drew when I measured them turned out to be too small, except for the last one. So we'll never see whether it actually fits on here or not. And the answer is not quite, it's just a smidgen too big now. I could kind of force it in. Force it in like that, but I'm going to have to trim a little bit. Oh. In theory I should trim 1/4 millimeter off all the way round. I wonder what the best way of doing that. Sandpaper? You think if I sandpapered it like that? Well, I think I've got it almost right now. Lining it up like that. I think it goes down flat. I've made it a little bit undersize on the ID because I can, after it's stuck, I can cut it off with this easily. Well, I was thinking of using Evo-Stick 528 for this. It's an industrial contact adhesive that I've happened to have left over from sticking some Formica up. I'm not sure in what condition it's in there. I thought that I had a stiff, short brush, but I don't. So I'm going to use a toothbrush, which is all I've got. Well, that's a thin layer. They told me to put a thin layer on and let it go hard. Let it go dry. Well, has that got a coating on it? Has it got a sufficient coating on it, is the point. And now I've got to wait for it to be touch dry. Well, I haven't left it long, but I think it's touch dry. So, it's supposed to start here. And it's supposed to have immediate grab. So, go down there. I think that's good. And now we leave it for 24 hours. So I'm going to do some experiments with different kinds of glue. I've got a piece of scrap aluminium sheet here which I've sandpapered and cleaned with acetone. And I bought 3 spiders off Amazon. They're the wrong size, obviously, but they're roughly similar kind to the spider on the real loudspeaker. So I thought you'd use that as a test. And then I asked Yoo-hoo. I explained what I wanted to do with these spiders, and they recommended this glue, which is what they call an SMP polymer. It cures with moisture in the atmosphere. I've got this Loctite shoe glue, which is also a silane polymer, so these are probably very similar. And I think they allow about 5 minutes of repositioning before they set. And then I happened to see this in a DIY store, which on looking it up, it's actually just a kind of super glue, but it says repositionable. So I thought I'll try that too. So I'm going to stick these onto that, try and assess how long they remain repositionable, then let them set for 24 hours and pull them off and see how strong the bond is. So this is the shoe glue. I'm just going to put a thin like that. Not very much, is it? And then I'm going to put it, we'll start the clock running. I'm going to put it like this and press it down. Don't think I've put enough on it, but can I move it? Yes, I can move it. I don't think I put enough on here. I'm going to put more on. So I've established that I can move it. Right, we'll leave it there. So that's that one. I better write this down, hadn't I? This is shoe glue. Now this one is going to be Yoo-hoo, which is basically the same thing, I'm pretty damn sure. But there's no easy way of getting into blister packs, is there? I hate these things. That's going to be repositionable as 2. See, I don't want to have to sit for hours holding these things down. I don't think I put enough of this I'm not very impressed with this Loctite shoe glue. Because I want it to stay down. This one is staying down. Right, well, this is the Loctite super glue. Incredibly, it says shake tube before use. I don't know why I need to do this. This is typical of super glue. It won't come out until you put it on your fingers, and then it comes out all over everything. It is a gel rather than a fluid though, which is nice. So how long is this super glue positionable for? This is much easier to position than the other two because it's basically a fluid, but it has no grab at all. Hold in position for at least a minute, they said. You see, I can't hold it in position like this because it's going to stick to my fingers, isn't it? I'm not convinced that this is sticking to anything. We'll wait for 11:50. Well, that's definitely been held in position for a minute, so. This one is still coming up. The Loctite shoe glue is still coming up. And this one, I think the Yoo-hoo is so far the best. So now we leave those for 24 hours. Right, well it's 24 hours later and they've all set. Just looking at them and recalling what I did. This one, I didn't put enough glue on to start off with. I took it off, put some more on, that still wasn't enough, took it off, put some more on. So it was quite problematic getting the correct amount of glue, and it still hasn't entirely covered it, it appears from this. This one, which is super glue, although it's a gel rather than a fluid, I had difficulty because by holding it down like that, my fingers got stuck to the thing, so I had to use my other hand to hold this down and then withdraw my fingers sideways. Well, that's not possible to do if the spider was actually in the loudspeaker, because I've got to use both hands independently. And the result of that was that I've got adhesive on parts of the spider which shouldn't have adhesive on. So I'm not very fond of that one. This one was very easy to put on. It seemed to have got very even, smooth coverage. So I'm hoping that that was the best one. What I'm thinking of doing is pulling it up and seeing if it peels off. thought what I might do is put this on and just pull it up at 45 degrees. Let's see. It comes off at about 2 kilograms. So let me write that down. What about this one? No, let's do this one first. Oh, well, that one came off without even pulling, so that's hopeless, isn't it? Still a bit of it stuck. It mainly came off. So a bit of it is stuck, but a bit of it actually took 2.1 kilograms, or maybe 2.2. But mainly it came off easily. Sorry, it's difficult doing this with a bloody camera. Yes, well, it was like that, and this amount just, it was only this bit here that really stuck. So that's no good. So I'm now praying that this is going to be okay. Hold this down. Two and a half, no, that's 3. It starts coming off at about 3. So, and actually it's tearing the thing rather than, let me see if I can tear it off. Yeah, I can quite easily tear it, well, in parts. So I think that is the best one, and it's got glue all round. So we go with this one, which happens to be the smallest tube. I hope I've got enough. Maybe I need to get another one. Right, well, I'm going to bite the bullet and glue this spider onto this. I've cleaned it round here with acetone, and I've cleaned this round with acetone because I had masking tape on it. And I'm just going to give it a final blowout. With this dry inert gas, so it says. And I've decided to use these strips at 120 degrees to locate the spider rather than anything more complicated, because I know I can get it off if necessary using this glue, if it turns out to be wrong. Right, so I'm going to put a nice even amount in the middle of this, all the way around, which is easier said than done. Let's hope that that's it. Right, so we put the spider on with these wires on this side, like that. That's absolutely right. Then we put these in. That's one. That's 2. That's 3. Right, now I can perhaps press it down a little bit. Now I'm going to press the spider all the way down, all the way around. Now this is a difficult bit. The spider's a bit smaller in diameter than I'd anticipated, so I could have put the glue slightly nearer the inside of that annular ring. Well, let's have a look at that closely. Right, so this is how it looks. I guess that's down all the way around. I think it's okay. I'm going to leave it for 24 hours like that and we'll come back. Well, just looking at it from on top, clearly the cone is a long way in this direction, but it's centralised down there, so we can only hope for the best. It does seem a hell of a long way displaced from the centre there. I haven't fixed this, of course, round here. Well, it's the next morning, so it's definitely fixed down okay. So if I take these things out, we shall now discover whether it's a catastrophe or not. Doesn't sound right. Would you believe it? That's definitely wrong. What a bugger. It's too far this way. Which actually coincides with what I can see up here. This cone has got to come. More like that. So that was no good. Oh dear. Now I shall have to go back to square one and take this thing off again. I suppose the sooner I do that the better. Let's hope that this glue... Oh, no, don't do that, no. I'm going to have to do it with a solvent again. Oh dear. Well, I've proved that this method doesn't work. Well, I've got it off again, but we're getting into bad territory now. Before I had this one tear here, but now I've got another tear here. Thing is, I can't buy a spider this size. I spent a lot of time on Alibaba looking, but I can't find one. So I'm just going to have to hope for the best that this will still work if I put it back on. Right, one more attempt. So I've got a signal generator here, this one. going to just unsolder it so that I can put some glue on. Put the glue on once more. That's enough. So now I just put this back in. Like that. Quickly solder it on again. That'll do. So I pressed it down all the way around now, and now I'm going to well, I think that's the best I can do. Just leave it now. Turn the drive off. We leave it for 24 hours. Well, it's the next day, and if this doesn't work, I'm going to throw this loudspeaker away, because I've pretty much exhausted myself. I'll just turn the amplifier on. Well, I think that is all right. So, what I've got to do now is to glue this without adversely affecting it. That'll be fun. And this has to be gas tight. Well, I think I'll very slowly and gradually put the glue around here. This rubber thing is, roughly speaking, in the centre. It's very slightly this way, but nothing like as bad as it was before. Right, I'll do that off camera. Right, well, I've done that. I think it's all right. So we'll leave that for 24 hours. Then test whether it's airtight and whether it's still working okay. Right, well, it's the next day and this appears to be stuck all the way around. So I think it's all right. So it only remains for me to glue this in here. Well, I've glued it back in. I'm not sure it's exactly the same orientation as it was before, but never mind. So that's the repair completed, so far as I'm concerned, and this one tiny tube of you who did all the gluing. So now all we have to do is put it back in the cabinet and play some music. Right, I've got it back in its cabinet and it still seems to be airtight. So we can play some MIDI music. Right, well, that was okay. The thing that really showed up the scratching when I was testing it originally was Elvis Presley, Love Me Tender, Love Me True. I'll play a tiny bit of that and see if it's okay.
Love me tender, love me true.
That's all I can get away with without being copyright struck, but it's okay. Well, I finally fixed it. I'm wondering if it was worth it now. Quite a lot of effort. Now that I've done it once, I could do it a second time a bit quicker. And of course there's still the second loudspeaker to fix, really, because they both were slightly scratchy. You can buy these Celestion Ditton woofers on eBay. But obviously they've been taken out of old loudspeakers, and I have to ask the question, why did they take them out? Probably because they were scratchy, for example. So I didn't think it was worth buying one on eBay. The alternative is just to buy some brand new modern speakers and forget about the old ones. Anyway, if you've got a Celestion Ditton, I think it's called T1600 speaker woofer, now you know how to fix it. And thanks very much for watching.